Now available in paperback and Kindle Unlimited, The Man Crisis. Learn why so many men are struggling to find their way in an increasingly gynocentric world in The Man Crisis. Get your copy of The Man Crisis in paperback and Kindle Unlimited today. There was an attempt by a beta male to participate in a mass shooting at the White Settlement Church in Texas. However, because several individuals in the church had concealed carry permits, they were able to stop the mass shooter from participating in his carnage before he wound up taking more lives. Now, when I take a critical examination of this incident, I see yet another incident that fits right in line with the pattern and profile I talked about in my book, The Man Crisis. And it's clear to me that the suspected shooter, 43-year-old Keith Thomas Kinnaman, fits right in line with the pattern and profile as related to these men who are a part of the man crisis. Now, this Keith Thomas Kinnaman was a ticking time bomb that had been ticking for many years, and his erratic behavior was just like that of many of the other beta males all across this country who just do not know how to navigate a course in life, because this individual, he had been homeless for several years, he had been drifting for several years, and he was going in and out of jail, and he was clearly a very, very dangerous man. And it was not a matter of if he was going to go off and participate in some sort of violence. It was a matter of when he was going to go off and participate in some sort of violence, like this attempt to participate in a mass shooting. Because in this man's criminal past, it was shown that he had been possessing illegal weapons in the past, and he was going and doing things like taking pictures outside of an oil refinery in 2016, and that was one of the reasons why he was arrested. He had been participating in theft of property like in 2013, and he also had aggravated assault with a deadly weapon in 2009. So this individual, he was someone who was, again, a clear and present danger for his numerous acts of criminal behavior, and it was just a matter of him escalating that criminal behavior to something like this. And most people, they would look at this guy and think, oh, there's nothing going to happen, nothing wrong with him, and when he came into the church, and that he would look for some sort of help. But this is the kind of guy who wasn't looking for help. He was looking to go into this church to participate in an act of violence, and a cowardly act of violence at that, because he probably thought, like Dylan Roof, the other beta male mass shooter, that he would be able to enter into this church and be able to murder these people, because these people, being good Christians, would sit there and passively not be armed or be able to fight back. However, in Texas, people don't think of being a passive Christian. They are active Christians, and because they are active Christians, they follow the philosophy of having a concealed carry weapon on them at all times. And these people, because they had their concealed carry permits and their concealed carry weapons, they were able to fight back against this mass shooter, and they were able to stop him from taking more lives like he planned in his imagined carnage. Now, when I'm taking a further critical examination of these mass shooters, I'm soon seeing that people are now starting to adapt to these mass shooters by having these concealed carry weapons, because this is not just the first incident where we've seen an individual take out a concealed carry weapon and use it to stop a mass shooting. Now, there was an incident at a Walmart a few months ago where an individual wound up taking out a concealed carry weapon, and they wound up using that weapon to stop a mass shooter before they could participate in their rampage. So when I look at these incidents, it's clear to me that the public is adapting to deal with the threat of mass shooters, and that's quite troubling overall, because it shows that the situation, while people are now fighting back against the mass shooters, things are still in a bad place because we're not dealing with what is causing all of these mass shootings. Now, what's causing many of these beta males to wind up falling apart and not being able to function in life is primarily the way they have been raised in what are mostly single mother households and divorced households and households with beta male emasculated fathers. And because these males have grown up without male life skills, male survival skills, they do not know how to set a course in life, they do not know how to navigate a course in life, and they don't know how to deal with conflicts and obstacles as they come along in the course of life. And because they do not know how to navigate the course in life, this is why we have seen this escalation in mass shootings over the last 20 to 25 years, and the whole start of this mass shooting trend over the last 30 years, because many of the men who have been raised in single mother households, divorced households, and households with beta male fathers never got those male life skills, and that led to them not being able to know how to navigate a course in life. It led to them being frustrated, angry, and eventually becoming these adult ticking time bombs that simmer and boil in anger and then eventually wind up exploding in rages, where they wind up trying to destroy the lives of others because they can't get their lives to work. Unfortunately, in this case, this mass shooter thought he was going to go in here and go out here and participate in this act of violence, but thank God there were individuals who had weapons to defend themselves and protect themselves. Because when I look at this case, it is a clear case of why we need conceal carry weapons. But again, that's sad because we have all of these beta males out here who have made things so bad that people need to have conceal carry weapons to defend themselves from these men, but we're not really dealing with the source of the problem, which is all of these boys being raised in these single mother households and these households without a father in the home to teach these boys the male life skills, survival skills, and coping skills they need to go out in the world. And no one wants to talk about this issue in depth, because to talk about this issue means confronting America's biggest consumer, the American woman, and confronting the American woman about the really poor job she has done raising children over the last 50 years and creating all of these beta male ticking time bombs, these males who just can't function, like this Keith Thomas Kinnerman, and these men who just cannot find or set a course to having a functional life, a successful life, and then wind up going out to destroy others. That's what people don't want to talk about as related to these mass shootings and attempted mass shootings. They don't want to talk about how America's women have just done a poor job raising boys to become males, and these men who just cannot function in any way, shape, or form in the real world. So when I look at this case, I do thank God that there were people in the church to save the lives of others and protect the lives of others with those concealed carry weapons. But it just shows me how much worse things are getting as related to this trend of mass shootings, that we just are not dealing with what causes and creates them. We are, again, adapting to mass shootings where people are becoming more indifferent to them and trying to defend themselves from them, but we're not dealing with the root cause of what's causing all of this violence. And dealing with that cause could actually save more lives than an individual with a weapon that they have to conceal and carry. Because if we wind up raising boys to be functional boys with a father in their lives, this could wind up preventing a mass shooting before it even starts. So the greatest way we could prevent mass shootings in this country is by active involvement by both the mother and father, and the boy being in a home with a father in the home. That's how we
stop mass shootings by investing in our men so that they can help take care of our boys, provide a leadership role model for our boys, and give them a model for manhood to follow that will enable them to feel like they have some sort of hope, some sort of worth, some sort of value as a man, and have some sort of model for manhood to follow, because we need to invest in our men so that they don't wind up becoming a loss or taking other people's lives and causing them to lose their lives in a mass shooting. Because again, the way we stop mass shooters isn't with gun control, and that was proven by those concealed carry owners. They were the ones who stopped the mass shooting. So gun control doesn't stop them, but the ultimate thing that does stop your mass shooters overall are fathers in the home and men in the community providing models for manhood that give boys an example of how to be a functional man and how to function in a world that is becoming more and more violent and more dangerous to be a part of. If you'd like to see me make more videos like this, you can donate to my Patreon, my PayPal, or my Cash App by clicking the links in the description box. And if you want to pick up the Man Crisis and learn more about mass shooters, you can pick up the Man Crisis on Amazon.com in paperback, Kindle format, Smashwords, the iBookstore, and Google Play. That's all I have to say for this video. You can comment, rate, and subscribe.